Greetings everybody, welcome back to OT Watchtower, where we break down the latest ICS advisories, OT vulnerabilities, and critical infrastructure threats every week. If you work in cybersecurity, industrial operations, or just want to stay informed about the risks facing control systems, you're in the right place. This week we saw 5 new CISA ICS advisories, 3 updated advisories, and 13 additional vendor and CERT advisories. Let's get into it. CISA released 5 new advisories this week, affecting vendors across multiple regions. We have Dingtian from China, has an advisory for the DT-R002 industrial router. Mitsubishi Electric from Japan has vulnerabilities in the MELSEC-Q series CPU models. Viessmann from Germany has a VitoGate 300 advisory. Schneider Electric from France has a SESU vulnerability. And AutomationDirect from the United States has a Click Plus PLC advisory. This is the first time CISA has released an ICS advisory for Dingtian and Viessmann. Some key issues include sufficiently protected credentials, improper handling of length parameter inconsistency, improper neutralization of special elements used in an OS command, also known as OS command injection, improper link resolutions before file access or link following, and clear text storage of sensitive information. For more information, refer to the CISA website for complete details. For our severity overview, we have 4 high vulnerabilities and 1 medium vulnerability. The key takeaway is that 4 out of 5 advisories are high severity, showing how serious these vendors' exposures are. 3 existing CISA advisories were updated this week, all tied to Hitachi Energy RTU500 series devices. Update A clarified fixed versions for 13.5.4 and 13.7.7, and Update B expanded mitigation guidance. If you're running Hitachi Energy RTUs, make sure you're on the latest patch. Beyond CISA, the ICS Advisory Project tracked 8 new and 5 updated vendor/CERT advisories. WAGO from Germany has PLC vulnerabilities. Delta Electronics from Taiwan has CNC software exposures. Dassault Systèmes from France, their eDrawings viewer has code execution vulnerabilities. Autodesk from the United States, their AutoCAD and Revit have remote code execution vulnerabilities, and Cisco from the United States has several advisories for iOS and industrial switches due to issues of denial of service vulnerabilities. This underlines why monitoring vendor certs directly is just as critical as watching CISA updates. This week's advisories covered 13 CVEs in total. 9 CVEs, or 69.7%, had network-based attack vectors. 2, or 17.4%, were adjacent network vectors. And 2, or 12.9%, were local vectors. 4 CVEs had high attack complexity, making them harder to exploit but still dangerous. The trend still holds. The majority of ICS vulnerabilities are remotely exploitable. Assets that are impacted this week include industrial routers and gateways from Dingtian and Viessmann, PLCs and field controllers from AutomationDirect and Mitsubishi Electric, and engineering workstations from Schneider Electric. The affected sectors span critical manufacturing, energy, water and wastewater, transportation, commercial facilities, chemical, healthcare, and IT. Make sure to focus mitigation efforts on the most critical assets within these sectors. The 13 CVEs this week map to 11 different CWEs. 2 of these are in the MITRE Top 25 Software Weaknesses of 2024. CWE 862 has missing authorization. This would come from AutomationDirect Click Plus, and CWE 78 OS Command Injection, which affects Viessmann's VitoGate 300. Recurring weaknesses like authentication gaps and command injection show why secure coding practices are still a challenge in ICS. Mitigations differ by vendor this week. Dingtian and Viessmann have workarounds only. Schneider Electric has updates, patches, and workarounds available. AutomationDirect has updates, patches, plus hardware and software upgrades. Mitsubishi Electric offers updates and workarounds. If you can't patch immediately, isolate affected devices and restrict network access until vendor fixes can be applied. CISA has added 3 new entries to the known exploited vulnerabilities catalog this week, though none were ICS specific. The new KEVs include Cisco's Secure Firewall Adaptive Security Appliance and Secure Firewall Threat Defense, with a missing authorization vulnerability and a buffer flow vulnerability that could lead to remote execution. Google Chromium V8 has a type confusion vulnerability. Even if it's not OT specific, IT side vulnerabilities are often leveraged as the initial entry point into ICS networks. That wraps up this week's ICS Security Weekly on OT Watchtower. We covered 5 new advisories, 3 updates, and 13 vendor and CERT advisories worldwide, with high severity findings in Dingtian, Viessmann, Schneider Electric, and AutomationDirect products. Make sure to stay informed about new advisories and CVEs. Make sure to prioritize patching and mitigation based on severity impact. Call to action things for this week: review this week's advisories and CVEs, assess the risk to your environment, and implement necessary mitigations. If this recap helps you stay ahead, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this with your team. I'm Kevin, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in next week's recap.